What's up, guys? This is Eddie, Big Jake, Crash and Flow BJJ. We've got a lot of older athletes that are doing jiu-jitsu on the channel that really like to follow this channel. And we have a whole playlist for older and less athletic athletes and how they can be highly effective in jiu-jitsu and use their strengths to their advantage. And one person that is a great example of this is Big Jake. He's an older athlete in our gym, and he's highly effective with his style of movement. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about on the channel, I teach Jake, and he also shows me things that work for him as an older athlete. So I wanted to introduce him and let him do a guest instructional today.
Hi, how's it going? I'm an older grappler, so I have to a lot of times make modifications to some of the techniques. I'm looking to be on top and stay on top. I'm looking to control people. I'm looking to make it as uncomfortable as possible for the person underneath. And one of my favorite ways to play that is through the cradle. Neil Melanson's had a huge impact on my game. I encourage everybody to seek out as much as you can from him. This comes directly from him. The very first instructional I ever bought was Cradle of Filth. I've never stopped using it. I've never stopped using this one particular submission from the very beginning, and I'll show that to you. A lot of times people are willing to meet us in half guard because it's a neutral position. It's advantageous for the person on the bottom, advantageous for the person on top. So this scenario occurs more frequently than not. So if we're adding a knee shield, what I'm looking to do is to stay nice and low and compact. I want to compress Eddie's knees. I'm taking this scoop grip here and I'm compressing him tight. And I'm looking, what my goal is I want to find a way to feed one of his hands to my hand here. There's lots of ways we can do that. We can just grab it, be a goon about it. But once I have this grip, I'm keeping it nice and tight. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to get to his head. If I don't have Eddie's arm controlled here, as I go to make that grip, he can like move away and I can't get my cradle.
A lot of ways he gets me with this too normally is because I'm a disciplined half guard player, so I'll have my frames up like this, which allows him to reach
right, it's not that hard.
Very easily.
Yeah, it's not that hard. And once we have this grip, we want it to bring it in as tight as possible. Like Eddie's mentioned in some of our other videos, once we have a grip and we're pinning against our body or their body, it becomes much more difficult for him to get out of. So once I have this, I'm gonna make a transition to his head and I'm gonna lock an S grip. So I reach over, lock my S grip, and then I back step into side control. There's a bunch of submissions here.
And we'll switch the other way.
Yeah. There's tons of submissions here that we can go into. This sets up darces. I'll show two of my favorites. I'm not a great darce player. I have short, stubby arms, so I don't tend to go for those. But what I do like to do is something called a Mizzou choke. It's used in wrestling as a way to pin somebody and put them to sleep at the same time. I'm letting go of my grip here. I'm grabbing the top. There's a knob here. And I'm grabbing it and I'm feeding it to my other hand. So I have this nice choked up grip. I'm grabbing as high as possible in the tricep. If we turn this way, we can show the camera kind of what it looks like. But it's that, you can see that. Now, this is what I want to do now is get Eddie flat on his back, and I'm bringing my elbow to
terrible.
to my lap. There's lots of ways you can add some extra kind of oomph on this. If I'm driving flat, I can also bring his legs over, and that makes it even more miserable.
Yeah, he's gotten me with this too many times. It's terrible.
So then start from the top. I'm grabbing the hand, I'm getting to my cradle, locking my S grip. I'm feeding this again. And my favorite submission, I've been hitting this since day 0, is we call it a fat man. Sometimes some people call it a tuck choke. But what I'm gonna do is that same concept, but I'm gonna let Eddie's head pop out. And I'm pinning his arm across his chest the whole time. And I'm cross-facing. I'm flattening him out. I'm shooting this arm forward. I'm not bringing my hand to my other hand. I want this. And now people think you have to drive into it. You sink into them. You want to be dead weight, hip to hip. And then when I lock it, I'm gonna flex and he'll go. He'll be done. It's a neck crank. It's a compression choke. It puts a lot of pressure on the shoulders too, so.
I actually don't have an escape to this. I just don't let him ever do it to me anymore because it's terrible. I literally don't have an answer to when I'm pinned like this. It is bad.
Right, and then another way I'll play this is I'll play kind of this modified judo, and I'll bring my leg over the top. And a lot of guys, even guys who I've caught with a million times, they can't resist. As I step over, as I bring this over their head, people just want to clear this leg. They don't like it there. And so this arm crosses the center line, and I'm locking in my Batman, and I'm here. So that's kind of some of the stuff I like to hit off of cradles, hit out of side control. And now I want to talk about how we can bundle the legs and get to the back, get to some sugar holds, some really gnarly cranks that I like to employ. So
I'll put a video clip of Jake hitting this in competition a couple weeks ago. He just absolutely murdered this guy with a sugar hold. It's horrible.
It's really sad.
Let's take a mount, Jake. Oh, you're good here. You're good here. Yeah.
It's really satisfying. I want
Likes a lot of catch wrestling stuff.
I want my jiu-jitsu to not look like jiu-jitsu. I want it to look like, something stupid. I want it to look, brutish if possible. I'm grabbing my hand, I'm connecting, I'm backstepping. Now, instead of going into my fat mans or my Mizzou chokes, I'm looking to bundle these legs. I'm capturing this first one, and I'm passing it over to my second leg here. Oh, excuse me. I'm capturing this top leg, and I'm passing it over to this leg. My left leg here does not move. I want to keep Eddie's knee trained into his eye socket the entire time. But now that it's shelved, this hand is free, and I can use it to transition to the other side. So my leg stays here. I'm keeping his head controlled the whole time. I'm stepping over, and I'm relocking my cradle, and I'm coming to the back. We have a couple different options here. Obviously, I can go to my my gift wraps. There's some cranks here that I like. I can, bring just stupid stuff that I like. And we have back takes. I've hit this, like bow and arrow chokes, just dumb stuff. But really what I prefer is for that arm to be popped out. So sometimes, guys, this arm will come free, so bring that out, Eddie. And people will fight here. I bundle like I did before, switch, and now I'm in my cradle, and this is what I really want. I want that arm out. And there's ways we can manipulate that arm to get it there, but I think
I'll just take it out a lot.
Yeah, most people take it out, but we have options. I don't like to force it. Whatever they give me, I'm gonna take. And so from here, I can go to a knee on the ribs. You can cook them, you can tap them, whatever. Most people will tap to that. My favorite thing to do here though is to go to a sugar hold or reverse Nelson. So we're here, back step, capturing, bundling. And now if I want to hit my sugar hold, I'll leave that arm out and I'll lock my cradle here. And I'll show a couple other ways that I get to this position. What I'm looking to do is I'm looking to drive my fist into his armpit, straighten out. Now I'm gonna get my sternum on his armpit. I'm gonna put a blocker behind his hip. I'm gonna get on my toes, and I'm just gonna walk, and it becomes a brutal neck crank. Some guys are really flexible, and I've gone all the way around. And I've gotten to the point where I can bring my, sorry. But that's the kind of stuff I'm looking to do.
Well, it's brutal.
I think the cradle in jiu-jitsu is way overlooked. It's a way to control the hips and the head at the same time. And also if we're playing half guard, what are we taught? All the newbie stuff we're taught, what are we looking to do? We're looking to connect our knees and elbows at all times. Mm-hmm. And that lends itself. So as soon as guys are shelling up, I'm like, fuck that, I'm in my cradle. Also, probably half the time, I'm just stepping over in the mount and I have a crossface. So, play with it. See what you think. Check out Neil Lanson, Cradle Filth. I think our jiu-jitsu shouldn't be nice. I think it should suck for the person underneath, and
it does.
We should be using pain compliance. So, none of this is my stuff. This is just stuff as an old guy that I apply. I don't think I've articulated as well as I could, but there's tons of resources out there to kind of expand upon this. I love to play this way, and I think, especially as a bigger guy, too, that we should be playing to our strengths. Mm-hmm. We talk about not using strength in jiu-jitsu. I think that's a joke. I think we should all be as strong as possible, and we should be using our strength and coupling it with technique. So, yeah, that's my point of view. But
yeah, I hope you guys like this. I think it's really valuable to see how somebody with similar attributes such as yourself can really use those highly effectively. And I can tell you firsthand that Jake is very difficult to deal with, especially as me, as someone who likes to play guard a lot. I have to be very, very careful for watching out for his strengths like the cradle and these very unorthodox pinning positions and catch wrestling techniques.
And I think that's another point too, is like if we can have a game that's unorthodox, mm-hmm. and we have kind of some quirky stuff that we do that isn't very commonplace, we're catching people off guard all the time. Not everybody has solutions to cradles and all these like old school catch wrestling stuff that we can modify and adapt for the modern game. So I'm always looking to have a weird game that's,
Yep, that's something him and I discuss a lot, is that unorthodoxy is a weapon in and of itself, guys. We don't always need to use the hot new move that everybody's using. We can go back and find moves that are undervalued from the past, or things from different arts like wrestling, which is where cradles are coming from, and we can use those to our advantage because, a Kimura is great, but everybody's been put in a Kimura. Not everybody is used to being put in a cradle. Not everybody has seen a fat man choke. Not everybody has seen a tuck choke, Mizzou choke, all these different unorthodox things that Big Jake brings to the table. So thanks for showing us these guys, and we'll see you guys on the mats. Crash and Flow BJJ.